passed a bill.
Yeah.
Governor Huntsman signed it.
Exactly.
It was law.
Right. So
vouchers in Utah.
They were shocked. They thought they had the votes to kill it.
Parents, they make the best choices for their own children. And now, all Utah parents have another option to find the school that works best for their child. That's because the Utah legislature passed and Governor Huntsman signed the Parental Choice in Education Voucher Law. For some families, these vouchers can be a valuable alternative for a child if their public school isn't working for them. Choice in education, giving all Utah kids a better chance.
When the vote was still many months away, 6 to 9 months away or something, I was already hearing, we're going to lose. Take me through the voucher referendum in 2007.
Okay, I will. So an interesting situation in that Utah, as we tend to be early adopters, we're usually out in front of issues. And so when we passed this law, what we had done is really paved the way and laid the groundwork with the legislature. That's where all the time and work had been invested, was with the policymakers and getting the bill passed. And so when we passed it, the other point of this issue was that we didn't actually realize that referendum law existed. No one had taken the time to delve in and look, even the other side. It had never come up. And it was 1970 something the last time that it had been used, but that wasn't on anybody's radar. So when we won, they started looking for anything to put a stop to it, and they discovered the referendum law. Caught us all by surprise. We had just finished our celebrations, our victories, and discovered that they had found this and that they were going to get the petitions going and get the signatures to get it on the ballot. And so what we knew we faced was an uphill battle with the citizens to educate them on something that was still fairly abstract. If you talk about school choice and vouchers, ed reform today across the nation, you have far more education amongst the general public because it is more prevalent. It's happening in larger numbers than it ever has, but it hadn't happened very much up to that time, and so it was a new concept. And so it really became a battle between that specific law, not necessarily even school choice in general, but that specific law. And here in Utah we're a very close-knit community. The culture is very much supportive of their community, being involved in their community, and they look at their schools in those same terms. And so if you come out with messaging as the opposition, as the teachers union, and say this is going to hurt your public schools that you love so dearly, the only option you've ever had, that is where your kids go, then it puts fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And it was definitely a campaign of FUD tactics.
Here in Utah, quality public schools should always come first.
But PTA parents know Referendum 1 has real flaws and loopholes.
Referendum 1 would divert $429 million from Utah's public schools, making it harder to reduce class sizes.
And Referendum 1 doesn't help the Utah families who can't afford to pay the difference in cost between a private school voucher and tuition.
I've checked the facts. So should you. Referendum 1, it just has too many flaws and fails Utah families.
The law actually rewarded public schools and held them harmless for 5 years. By the time you got through that explanation, how many people can you have that conversation with? So to rely on short snippet messages in the media and to let them do the same thing but use FUD tactics, it was an extremely uphill battle.
Referendum 1. It's about trusting Utah parents and families, not East Coast unions spending millions on false ads.
Referendum number 1 is important to me.
It's about Utah parents, not a DC union, knowing what's best for our children.
They're my kids. They're my responsibility. It should be my decision.
Who are these liberal unions to tell Utah families how to parent?
Most of all, it's about Utah's families and Utah's future.
I will be voting for Referendum 1.
Vote for Referendum 1.
Do you think the message was crafted wrong from the choice side?
You know, it's hard to Monday morning quarterback. However, it's not a situation we'd been put in before or had expected, and so it was a scramble to determine what that messaging should be. And we had people from all over the nation trying to coach us, different variations of ideas about what we should be saying. And we took a tactic and stuck to it that was a much kinder, gentler. So yeah, in retrospect, in today's environment, in a second, we would be very adversarial about the truth, about what's happening in education, the union's involvement, where we are, how we're failing our children. The numbers are there. The numbers were there then. And we just chose not to be that bold.